Hello, guys, and welcome to what could be the last day of DPC. It is the last official day, last scheduled day, that's for sure. And we have two matches for today. And these matches will determine who is going to the major because it's still not decided. For the first match of the day, this is a really high point. It's a classic of the DPC. One team is fighting for the slot of the major, and the other one is fighting for absolutely nothing. There you go. Yeah, woo, scheduling. So Hokori here, because of the win from SG yesterday, Hokori doesn't have a chance of forcing tiebreakers for the lower end of the table, as you can see with a 1-5 score, which means that Hokori is guaranteed going to Division 2, much like Infinity. Hokori now stands to win nothing here, not even some DPC points, because their head-to-head against Infinity is not a good one, so they don't even win in that tiebreaker, which won't happen anyway. So Hokori might just play for funds, or maybe Hokori, they channel their inner true South American, and they play to ruin Infamous' chances. If they don't go to major, nobody goes to major. Maybe that's a motivator. In the case of Infamous, as you guys can see here, if they win one, they put themselves at 5-2. And because Beast Coast and Thunder Awaken are taking on each other in the next match of the day, one of them is guaranteed to be 5-2. That's just how matches work. One of them has to lose. There's no other option. So, who will Infamous tiebreaker with? We'll have to see. Will Infamous force that tiebreaker? We're going to have to see first. With that, we have a panel to analyze this wonderful encounter. RTO and Wingblade are joining you once again. Hello? 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 Yes. RDO, nod in acknowledgement, yes. Much like RDO answers my messages. Unlike Astini, who he answers faster for some reason. RDO, tell me about this matchup. Let's look at the importance of the match aside. Would you be giving this to Infamous like a 2-0 or 2-1? Do you think Hokori stands a chance, considering what we've seen this season?
I actually think Hokori has good chances to win because they have no pressure now. They already failed, so they have nothing to lose, right? They just have to play their Dota, and maybe they can surprise Infamous with a victory.
Okay. Are you in a similar camp, Wingblade?
I'm not sure. I mean, yesterday we had a similar situation where the stakes were pretty low for Wolf Team. And apparently they were gonna win out of spite. And then, well, we know how that went. Apparently, according to Estini, some of them were like hungover on Instagram. So maybe it's a similar story for Hokori. They've already been relegated to Division 2, so they're like, we'll just live our best lives and prepare for the next season.
And Hokori are two games that I don't see very often. I mean, with Lumiere, yes, the current iteration, they don't seem like that kind of people, to be honest with you. So at least we'd have that. There's no power of booze bringing them down. Let's see if Hokori can do it, and if RDO is right. What can you tell us about the season of Hokori, though, for Wingblade?
I mean, it hasn't been great. I haven't had the opportunity to watch all of their matches. But from what I've seen, it's been pretty rough. To be fair, I feel like the level this season was pretty high, with both Wolf Team and SG Esports coming in and kind of delivering for Division 2 teams. Yeah, it's been rough. I feel like RDO's gonna have better insight as an ex-Hokori player.
Well, yeah, I guess he was there temporarily. RDO, I'm questioning that. First of all, your ex-Hokori insight, but also, what do you think makes a team fall from top 3 to bottom? Literally bottom. Like, is that really the competition going up, or have they just played worse?
Changing players and meta, right? Because maybe they have a really good read on the West meta when they got top 3, and now I don't think they're playing the best way of the current meta, so they're losing a lot of games, right? And they also changed the Churikor to the Elmisho guy. And I think Churikor is more of an experienced player, if you think about it.
Yes.
Elmisho is skilled, but he doesn't add much when coming to drafts and strategies, He's just a skilled player for me.
Okay. I mean, that's fair. Elmisho's performance, considering what we saw, I mean, the first DPC has not been the same. We were all hyped about, Elmisho's Mirano, he hits all these arrows, and now it's been like, okay, Elmisho's Marcy disposed someone. Nice. Good job. Now we have Connell and Timber, so it's going to be the start for Infamous. This is Oscar's Infamous Timber. So, RDO, how much do you like playing against Oscar's Timber on a scale from 1 to 10 as a character?
I hate it because I either get a
Awesome.
pick so I can go jungle and he'll like win, draw/win the lane, or I'll counter pick him and he'll start cutting waves on tier 3 at 5 minutes, and there's nothing I can do about it. This guy is so annoying.
So what
I mean,
sets
Oscar's a
him
guy that's
apart
just used to losing.
from
Sorry, go ahead,
the
William.
other Timber players? Is there something he does differently?
I'm not sure. I don't remember the last time I played against a Timber besides Oscar. It's been
Whisper?
too long ago. But I haven't played against Whisper Timber in a long time.
Okay.
But about Oscar, the difference for me of this player is he's good at getting sacrificed, and
Yeah.
even though he gets sacrificed, he has a game, you know? Like, I remember when I played BTS against him, I countered him on lane. It was a Sin King against, I don't know, I think it was Tiny. And he started cutting waves at tier 3, man. It was so annoying. Like, how can a player, how is it allowed?
How dare they?
No, but that's a good point, right? Oscar is the best sacrificial offlaner right there. He plays support from the offlane sometimes, and that's a style that he sometimes likes to change as well. In interviews, he hates to admit that that's what he does. He always tells us that he's like, "No, I play core sometimes." Okay, sure you do, Oscar. I've seen you buy pipe me. Like, that says it all, I think.
10 seconds remaining.
I don't believe we've seen Infamous play much Kodo. Okay. Before we get into the Kodo, another Dazzle. We saw it fizzle spectacularly yesterday. So, gonna be intrigued to see if Infamous can do better with it than Wolf Team. I guess it's still gonna be position 5. And it is pretty good against Monkey King. But I still have my doubts about this hero.
Why?
I don't know, he kind of needs a shard to have a disable. And it feels like when you go for Grave, it tends to be too late already. And if you just want him for the lane, I feel like there is other heroes that fulfill similar purpose, but also have a more reliable stun. Like if you want a strong lane and some push, I guess you could just pick Jakiro instead.
Okay. RDO, what are your thoughts on the Dazzle as a safe? RDO? Oh, he's gone. Oh, he muted himself. I thought he was disconnected. Maybe he unmutes?
Hello, you can hear me now?
I can hear you, RDO, yeah. I don't know how you hit that
Nice.
button, man. We're in the middle of a battle.
Neither do I. I mean, I think Dazzle's not of the greatest saves, but has such a good lane. He's a good snowballing hero now, and the shard makes him good against illusion heroes, which was one of his weaknesses in past. Like, you just pick PL and you kill Dazzle, you don't care. But now if you buy shards, he'll instantly kill illusions with the Hex mechanic, and it makes the hero pretty strong.
Okay. Alright. The
That's a good
Warlock in
point.
comparison for Hokori, so they go also for a little bit of heal in the lane, a much more team fight. As Tini was telling us in the last panel, Wingblade, how he thinks this is one of the 3 heroes, the 3 quintessential heroes they have to play as 5. Do you feel like this is one of the games to make it work?
I guess so. There wasn't too much jump for a Warlock just yet. The Void Spirit does add a little bit of a threat to him, but I feel like he's just gonna be fine. He's a Warlock. He heals his carry in lane and then he drops a rock on a team fight and dies. I mean, it's not the most complex hero to analyze.
Okay, I mean, I guess fair enough. What do you think what do you think of the Zeus then? Do you think it's going to be a Zeus mid right now and put the Tiny as 4, considering Hokori's preferences?
I'm not sure. I feel like Zeus would do pretty well against Void Spirit in lane at least. And I think you would rather have a Tiny 4 than a Zeus 4 or a 3. So I think the Zeus mid is okay, but the Zeus support would be pretty terrible in my opinion.
Why is the Zeus support terrible?
Because you have no stun. You have 2 supports that have like no presence outside of their ultis and a bit of damage. And then you're gonna put all of the pressure to make any kind of play like your mid and your carry. And then why do you even have supports?
Right. Like, no stuns, only damage, I'd say, like a
This
Dazzle
is what
and
my
Calm.
team always picks in pubs. They just pick some damage and they do some random shit, but they don't have stuns and they don't do anything on the map.
Sure. The Emperor Night Stalker are banned here from Infamous, so they're not really clear as to what Hokori needs last. That's a really weird Ember ban, honestly. Yeah, there you go. Offlane Pango, apparently. Okay. What is Infamous' last pick here, RDO? They need a carry. They need a carry that makes up for these two supports that also don't do much except for win lanes.
Is Bloodseeker banned? Yeah, it's
Yes.
banned.
Yeah.
10 seconds remaining.
For lane, I feel like Bristleback's pretty good because you have Dazzle. I think SG played this combo, right? The Dazzle plus. No, I
Yeah.
don't remember who it was, but someone
No, I
played
think it
this
was SG
combo and
against Beast Coast,
against
yeah.
Beast Coast, yeah, and they destroyed because it's so strong. Bristleback is
Yeah.
a hero that wants to run in and wants to snowball lane, and Dazzle actually provides that. So I like the either Void or Bristleback.
What about Alchemist?
Yeah, Alchemist is also good, but you're not gonna like destroy your lane. Like enemies, Hokori picked Pango on 23, so they kind of need to get punished. And if they get Void
Yes.
in 24, they're gonna get destroyed. 'Cause there's
Right.
nothing Pango can do against Void. That's all.
Yeah, that's a very good point.
Big Blade, what are your thoughts on this? What are your guesses for carries?
Yeah, I was thinking more about the mid game, like which carries would work there, but I feel like RDO makes a very good point about the lane. You're gonna be laning against Pongo Tiny, I suppose, which is like really shit. And if you have a hero like Void, you can completely shut them down. And Pongo is still gonna get something because he's Pongo and he can just swashbuckle the wave and, you know, get some mana regen and still have a decent time. But if you have Alchemist, you give him space or a carry like that. And if you pick something like
Now select
Void,
your heroes.
then you can actually just
Okay.
completely dominate the lane. The Sven is interesting. I don't think it wins as hard as a Void, but I still think it does well. And Sven in general is just really strong against these heroes like Zeus and Warlock, which you can just jump and destroy.
I guess they also picked the Sven because they have Koro position 4, so Koro will stack the triangle like 4 or 5 times, and Sven will get so strong at early stages.
What do you think this lies, RDO, when it comes to the lane? Do you also think it can beat the lane, or is it not as hard to punish?
I don't think the Sven by itself is strong on lane against Pango, but the Dazzle provides a strong lane, so I still think they're gonna win the lane. I don't think they're gonna crush the lane like they would if they pick like Void or Bristleback, but it's fine. It's more of a greedy pick. It's more of Parker style, farm and carry. So they're playing comfort. They have good heroes. I would favor Infamous on this one.
Okay. All right. Favorite Infamous. Wingman, what about yourself?
Yeah, me too. Infamous all the way. Ah shit,
Alright,
now we're
well,
gonna
that
be
was easy.
wrong. Damn.
No, that was easy, mate. If you guys both say Infamous will win. That's it. RDO, he's the anti-curse person. He is not like Astini. He always gets the right team. But we'll have to see because the first game, it's getting spicy and to narrate the spicing kind of way, someone that can tolerate it. That is why we brought the Dutch person. They're known for tolerating spice, of course, and South African. Snare and Kips, please take it away for Infamous versus Hokori, game number 1.
Thank you very much, Alvo. And yes, indeed, Kips, we've got a lot of spice on the cards here. After this, we definitely have to have curry for dinner. No, I'm kidding. Obviously, this game, spicy as hell. Infamous, if they win this one, they can obviously force these tiebreakers. But what do you make of these drafts? Are you a fan of the spicy Dazzle Sven? This is a throwback lane that we're getting from Infamous. What do you make of it coming in from them?
Like, I think it's very different from what I've seen in the games that I've watched from them so far. Like, they always have roaming supports. They bring Michael to the mid lane at a minute 6. He's there every single time. And right now, that's a Kotl. Is he really going to come and control runes? Like, if they hold true to their style, they will. But it's not nearly going to be as effective as on a Mirana. So, with these two passive supports, they're going to either have to change their style or just really the cores are going to have to lean extra into the fact that they've got a lot of let's call it like disengage backing them up. The Kotl with the blast, of course, as well as the mischance and the dazzle with the extra heals. Like they have sustain in these fights, but it's not what I expected from them, that's for sure.
Speaking of things that are unexpected, Hokori, I was not expecting to come into this one favoring their draft. I want to disagree with our panel members here. I kind of like what they have to offer here. Got this heal support. I'm gonna be a little bit cautious about being as enthusiastic about Warlock as I often am, but they've got Warlock, Monkey King, phenomenal lane, great damage in the midst of these team fights, absurd amount of magical birth coming in from the Zeus. A Zeus with the Tiny is the second most winningest combination when you play the Zeus, especially when you play the Zeus mid with the 4 Tiny, and they've got this Pango. This is the one question mark for me. I'm not 100% sure about this hero from the offlane, but this is a Chaos Creator. Whenever you have Zeus in your team, you want a Chaos Creator, and you want a hero that's going to pair up with the Warlock, so 2 sources of burst damage on top of the Fatal Bonds. This can work, Kips. This can work. I don't think Hokori is as out of it as they might have seemed coming into the game.
I agree. Most of this is on analog on this Zeus, of course. He's very fragile. Every single core on the side of Infamous can change directions immediately and gun for him as soon as they see him. But, you know, if he can get his damage out, and they do have teamfight reset. And I just recall Astini, like, in the back, like, oh, I wish Hokori would pick a BKB Piercing Stun as teamfight reset. Well, guess what? They did it.
Warlock, baby.
Yeah.
Warlock. Everybody at home, welcome to the Warlock Hour. Y'all didn't know, but you're actually just going to get an education on why this is the best support in the game right now. Please play it. He's so good. Needs a few buffs as well. And right now, he's assisting Yuma to just try and have as stable a lane as humanly possible. Yeah, sure, there is this Coddle backing up Oscar, but it's going to take quite a while before Yuma really feels threatened by this lane. So he should be able to farm mostly freely on the Monkey King.
Exactly. As long as he keeps on meeting these waves here, he won't be too bothered by the fact that he doesn't get any regen from Oscar. Just needs to be sure that he does not get Kotl blasted while he's trying to farm peacefully. Because yeah, Oscar, and you heard it from RDO as well, he is going to be cutting waves, he's going to be dragging them. If he's in a losing matchup, he will always immediately choose for the coping mechanism rather than trying the confrontation anyway.
Hope and see that sometimes the required strats.
Oh yeah, and he'll be back as soon as he's got his levels. But right now, ooh.
Okay. Well, of late I've been despairing of these offlane Pangos in lieu of their mid counterparts, but in this game, Vitaly off to a great start. Between himself and the support Tiny, they are able to get a kill. This is a ridiculously strong lane actually though. Pango, Tiny.
Yes.
Tiny being able to, and the thing is when you have this Pangolier, whenever Tiny moves out onto this mid lane to make sure that he can assist the Zeus, you don't actually lose out on the Pango. You're completely 100% safe, provided you have a point in Swashbuckle. So you are feeling very good, and so far, everything is working out in favor of Hokori in this early game.
Yeah, this Dazzle, as said before, very little in the way of stuns, doesn't actually do anything on this lane as long as he can't be hitting them all the time. So there's constant kill threat from these two. And Vitaly in general is super important for Hokori's plan here. Like, if this guy has a good game, they actually get to play. And this is not me saying that because he's a Pango, but because he's Vitaly.
Yeah, just in general. He's like the engine that unlocks the squad.
Yes.
Since we're looking at the top lane for a little bit, this Dazzle hero, you know, I don't know why the hero gets picked when there's Warlock in the game, man. Your third pick Dazzle while there's still a Warlock? Come on, what's going on here? It is affecting them right now a little bit. Not really much he can do against Vitaly. But at the very least, he is making sure that Parker will farm very freely. What do you think the build's going to be on the Parker Sven in this game, given that he absolutely needs to be able to beef up and kill heroes in like 2-3 shots later in the game?
I mean, he's holding his points right now, right? And this is 40 attempts at the kill here, but I'm actually surprised because I was going to say, well, this man is just going to want to max cleave immediately because Parker is probably the greediest carry in the entire SA DPC. Like, he's holding the record for the highest GPM right now as well. This man
It's very impressive considering his
creeps.
counterparts in K1 and stuff.
Yep. No, it's this man or the Medusa.
2-point Stormhammer, a little bit weird from him, but obviously he'll get the points into the cleave as time goes on. Now those supports just trying to stack up their camps, make sure that there is a lot of farm down the line. That is one thing that Infamous can do phenomenally with the Coddle Dazzle. Might not be able to make big moves, but they can create pockets of farm around the map. It does worry me a little bit that both of these supports don't really do anything to start fights, so it feels like this game has to go very, very well for this Void Spirit. Might get this quick kill onto Gardic though. Trying to run him down. Oscar right on top of him with the Whirling Death, as well as the Timber Chain through. They might not have the damage here. Do they have him? Got him. Took him a while, but eventually they get to him. First death being claimed here by Infamous as they bring down this Warlock in the river.
But He already got what he wanted, which was disrupting the stacks going on here, because he knows that this Coddle is going to be pulling. And this is going to present a challenge to Hokori, because they have not been good this season about contesting enemy jungle at all. It's been win a fight, back off, win a fight, back off. So this time, they know exactly what's going on. They're going to have to contest this triangle.
It'd be so great if on the last game, the one that absolutely doesn't matter to them, they demonstrate so many of these lessons that we've been hoping that they learn throughout the season. But it's great to see. As top lane, they're going on to Parker. Ooh, Vitali misses the swashbuckle. But there's still danger for the Sven here. Tiny comes in from
yeah.
Elmisho. Hey, there we go. Analog just cracked level 6. Picks up the Thunder God's Wrath, is able to get the kill. Affliction, of course, is a dazzle, so not much counterplay available from him. Elmisho actually trying to get the counter kill, but sort of ran him to his own death here. Kind of an unforced error, but doesn't matter. They still got the Sven kill earlier on. This is exactly what they needed for themselves in the top part of the map.
And Vitali got to keep one of his earn charges, which is very important for his next attempt at a kill, because he can snowball off of this very, very support-style build, of course. In the mid lane, man, Analog's just getting bullied away by Alone.
He's fine. Everything's fine. Remnant drop just to cover the retreat. Now actually that you were mentioning the Urna Shadows being built up on the Pango, is this a good game for him to build Spirit Vessel? I'm seeing that they have this Timber Sword, they've got the heal from the Dazzle, eventually you also get some heal coming out of the Cuddle. Feels like a Spirit Vessel could be pretty high value, but it might interrupt his item progression overall. Well, what do you think is the way that they deal with these heals? Or do they just wait till later, get like a Shivas on somebody else?
I think that this is an indication that Vitali's pretty committed to eventually getting the vessel upgrade, but he should definitely not go immediately for it. He's finishing Corrosion first, and I'd kind of like to see him... See, here's the problem. If this was any other player, I would be like, alright, I'd kind of like to see him get a farming item. Diffu is so bonkers good on a Pango, and especially versus a Sven, as in this bot lane.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just a quick kill. Just a Cuddle. Just a little Cuddle. Quick and easy kill. That's Yuma's first one of the game. That's pretty big that they got it into the Monkey King as well. He gets that bonus gold. That's going to finish off. His power has just arrived anyway, so now we get the progression towards the farming item that he's going to pick up for himself in the game.
Yep, and he'd love to shove through this bottom tower so that they have an easy access into this triangle. Where Gardic, yep, found that stack. Analog has a haste rune. This is actually a great moment for them to contest.
Even if they don't end up getting any kills here, Infamous will find themselves very annoyed that they lost out on most of this farm. And you know why that was all possible, Kips? It's my man Warlock. Gardic dropping those fatal bonds, baby. Thank you. Shout out to him. They clear out the stack and deny even more farm presence. The ancient stack is still available for Infamous, but less and less farm for the Sven to pick up later. And Sven is one of these carries that absolutely requires every piece of net worth available on the map. He has top net worth right now, farming the stacks that Affliction has made over on the western part of the map. But the more and more they do this from Hokori and contest these, the less the Sven feels super comfortable in the game.
He's already retreated out of the lane, counting on Michael to hold him up there. But that just means that, yeah, Vitali gets to just walk at him, and he's high level now. So pretty much uncontested.
Go for the first... Well, to get the kill with this Rolling Thunder. On the back line, Alone does manage to get the quick pick off onto our Warlock. A little bit unfortunate there. If he doesn't get that Stormhammer off, Analog just got back the Thunder God's Wrath and has enough mana. Would have gotten the kill, definitely. But unfortunately, it's Sven just muscled away. Yet again, not going to be able to enjoy his life on this map. Hokori playing this early game with much more purpose than we're used to seeing from them after the laning phase breaks down.
Yeah, true. Maybe that's because the laning phase hasn't broken down yet.
Pretty much. Look where the Sven is. He's just farming these stacks. He's like, I'm done. Farm time for me. Everybody else, y'all are playing around me on the map right now.
Dropping all of the neutrals as well. It's gonna feel good. I'm curious to see where this Void Spirit is going to be with his item build this game. Like, he is the biggest threat for two of the big damage dealers over on Hokori, which is the Warlock and the Zeus.
What do you think this game? Ags or Sanjin Kaya? Something else. We'll see Affliction probably lose his life in this bottom lane. Does have Shallow Grave, but simply buying time. Maybe not though. Oscar
No?
coming in to try and force them away. Does manage to do so. Oh no! Did it too
Analog.
late. Well, not sure if he did it too late or too soon. Either way, the Dazzle will end up surviving inside the fountain after the Thunder God's Wrath. Well, it's no skin off their back, I guess, on the side of Hokori, but if failed to pick up a kill, which would have accelerated Yuma even further, but he doesn't mind right now. Still just back into his safe lane. Tier 1 tower is super healthy. Oscar very far away from being able to claim some supremacy on this bottom side of the map.
And Alone tried to make a play off of that in the mid lane, but loses both of his steps, and Elmisha doesn't actually die. Now we're gonna see here. Hokori, normally they end up defending mid with only 3 players, and Infamous will throw all 5 at it if they feel it is necessary. But God's Strength is coming back up, so I wonder if we're going to see a big clash in mid or not.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
So close to Echo Saber though on Parker. Might want to finish that off first, so he's farming up. And it does seem like we've had confirmation on the build that Alone is going to be going for. He's picked up the Star for Wizardry, so unless he's going for first item mules, presumably reaching for the Sanj and Kaya, that'll tank him up a little bit, allow him to be a bit more survivable if indeed he gets caught by the Avalanche. That is one of the bigger issues. As bottom, they're going on to Oscar here. Will they have the damage to bring him down? Shadowword is taking him at the moment. Vitali coming closer, rolling thunder. No, misses a hit, but they got him. Shield crash ensures that there is no hiding space. Yuma gets the last right click. Second kill of the game for the Monkey King. Oscar dead for the first time. And unfortunately, the tier 1 tower once again defended by Hokori.
Dire's middle tower.
And that leaves them with a map advantage, which we normally don't really see at this phase of the game for them. Like, I think I'm starting to buy into your theory, Snare. They look better right now than they did before.
Maybe there's enmity between themselves and Infamous. They're like, you know what, we might not look good for our own purposes, but to ruin yours, trust, we're gonna bring out the best odor.
You know, this is what Alvo has been saying, right? Spite. Spite is such a great motivator. I love being spiteful. Really, nothing gets you going like that. Of course, it's also completely unsustainable, but, you know, take what you can get.
Dota players who exist in the Valve ecosystem, we're not about sustainability. We're about just a brief moment of
Yuma
enjoyment.
is
As
in
right now,
trouble.
Yuma is indeed in trouble, getting jumped on by 3 heroes, dragged back by the Aether Remnant. He's certainly gonna die here. His team does not have a shallow grave to help him out. And they will be able to get the kill as well in the mid lane. Parker playing with a... What? Was that a solo kill from Parker?
Yeah.
It was. He just ran up and killed the Zeus by himself.
Is under attack.
Yep, smacked him, and this is where Hokori, now that the landing stage is breaking down, if they're going to be trying to skirmish, their fragile heroes are just going to be ran down. They have no big teamfight control ult except for the Warlock, and you're not going to drop that when you're just getting ganked. Like, they need to take big 5v5s to make this draft work. And of course, they will win those. But the question is, are they going to get that opportunity? Because with the amount of damage that a hero like Parker brings, like, the fight can be over before you TP anyone in.
Radiant's bottom tower.
See Metal, they're doing their best to try and get this Blink Dagger quickly for Elmisha so that they're not overly reliant on the Warlock to create that space for them. Parker getting very, very large. Echo Saber done, almost at the Blink Dagger. So they are going to be playing this fighting Sven, which I definitely prefer. I really hate it when I see these Svens just not get involved on the map. This hero peaks very early on relative to his counterparts, so we've got to utilize that strength. But whilst he's busy farming right now, we will see a 3-hero smoke from Hokori. They want to interrupt this. They are aware they cannot allow this game to just be passive. A farm fest would be favoring Infamous heavily. Let's see what they find. They come across Oscar. One of the worst targets though. Rolling Thunder is available, but it's a Timber Saw. It's already away with the
That's a
Timber Chain.
long chase.
They are still gonna go for it though. Not sure about this one, yo. And they realize very late in the game that we actually don't have the damage to do this. We don't have the catch to make it happen. Unfortunate smoke for Hokori, but it creates space for Infamous to finish the Blink Dagger on the Sven.
Yep, and he is now as dangerous as he's ever going to be. And I'm especially worried about the Roshan capabilities of Hokori right now, because they do have the bigger teamfight advantage, but they can't initiate on their own. This Sven is just, yeah, forced out Yuma's ult. Fine. I'll hit creeps with your ult. You can't do anything now that you've spent your ult.
Yep. You just have to back up, and Yuma went for this fighting build as well. He didn't go for the Maelstrom or the Battlefield that we sometimes see on this hero. Going all in on this Echo BKB type of build, so those moments where he doesn't have the Wukong's command really does hurt the squad, and Infamous will try to take advantage of this timing as they smoke up as 4, have the Blink Dagger available. God, it breaks the smoke. Warlock player on point. Done the right thing. Prevents anybody else from dying. Keeps this game alive, because otherwise Analog would be very, very dead right now.
Oh yeah, but he might still be in a couple of seconds. Like, this is
Courier has
an attempt at either the mid tower or the Roche. Actually, with the God Strength down, they're not going to go for anything more, but they got that vision down for the attempt right now. Infamous are very, very methodical about this kind of thing. They've set up for mid now. We're going to see them back here.
One thing they did accomplish, though, even though the smoke didn't kill anybody, they brought down Vitaly's courier, and it was carrying the full spirit vessel. So for the next 90 seconds, like outside of just not having Wukongs, they really can't make any moves. You probably saw after the last time just how impotent they are in the face of Oscar. So absolutely need that item before you make the next move across the map for themselves. Does delay things, but at the very least, El Misho is going to be like, well, if we're not fighting boys, give me a lane. Let me farm up this Blink Dagger at the very least.
It's so necessary. Like, with this vessel being delayed, their only damage is on the Zeus right now. He's sporting a Kaya. He's got the static field. There is damage for these fights, so they are smoking up with this Zeus shard now. And this is going to be it. There's going to be a Golem drop. It's going to be a Rolling Thunder. This has to be a fight. And found Parker.
They've actually burst Affliction, and now they found Parker, tossing him back into the rest of the squad, but they need to be careful they don't stack up for huge cleaves, and they've done a good job positioning around the Sven. They kite him all around the way. They managed to get the kill. 2 heroes brought down all across the map, and they might not be done just yet. Trying to close in onto Alone, and the Primal Spring into a Boundless Strike will connect onto this Void Spirit. There's going to be a toss from El Misho. Alone utilizes the last Astral Step to get onto the high ground. Vitaly still chasing, still has access to the Rolling Thunder. How far are we from the Astral Step? Quite a while, but he's not going to need it. He has on his dancing shoes. He gets away to safety. Now these heroes are respawning, though, so Hokori needs to be careful. How will they collapse back into this one? They really want to steal away this ancient farm while they can before the Sven returns, but it might be too late because now Oscar wants to get involved in this fight. He's moving forward, but Rolling Thunder's on top of him. There's the Wukong's command. They toss him back into the Wukong so that there's no escape. The Chaotic Offering dropped down as well. Oscar kept inside this Wukong for the full duration, ends up losing his life.
Now.
And nobody's going to end up dying just yet, though. El Misho left behind as Gardic and Vitaly running up the ramp here. The first one to die will be Gardic. Vitaly, though, is able to walk away. El Misho not as lucky, but they got 2 cores in exchange for 2 support. You'll take this trade any day of the week.
Yeah, I mean, that feels good, right? But I'm so worried that I'm seeing the pattern play out with Hokori that I talked to you before this game. It's like, sure, they'll take a fight, and then they won't take any objectives off of it. That mid tower was ripe for the taking. Instead, they go to the triangle, they chase for more kills, they don't have enough damage to actually finish it up. And they didn't make a big dent in the gold difference at all. So sure, you get a couple of kills, but you're back to exactly the same situation where you were before.
Yep. Because they committed all their spells for that one, Infamous could very easily re-engage, and that's exactly what they're going to do. They smoke up right now, looking for another fight. Affliction going to be backing up Alone and Michael. Who will they come across first? Yuma senses that a gank is coming and will retreat for this. Misho's the one that goes to check with his face, but I don't know if it should be the Tiny here. He needs this Blink Dagger, and him losing his life would be awful. His team agrees, though, so they're bringing him back up. They're not going to let him fight this one alone. He comes across Alone. Avalanche, the toss-up, and here comes Vitaly. Rolling Thunder will be able to connect onto this Dazzle. Affliction falling very low. Thunder God's Wrath will come out. El Misho is the first casualty of this fight, but he may not be the last, as Alone getting gone on, will be able to barely survive with the Dissimulate, getting onto the far side of the fight. Will Yuma be able to catch him? Aether Remnant interrupts the jump, but he's still being chased into the trees. Yuma really wants this kill. Between himself and Analog, they're certainly going to get it, and he ends up losing his life. It is a huge fight taken in the top lane as Infamous bring down El Misho, but it turns out they bit off way more than they can chew, and they lose out on the Dazzle and the Void Spirit in the process.
That was a literal second from the next step. Man, this Force Staff from the Coddle is working absolute overtime. In the previous fight, he saves 2 cores twice, and now here again, Void Spirit nearly gets away with that. That is insane. Hokori have to commit so hard to get anything done in this game. And here, again, they won that fight normally, right? Parker's still farming. He's gonna have a BKB the next time they clash. The mid tower is still up. It feels like they're rowing into the stream. You know, you see a boat and it's staying in the same place. They're working so hard. 5 men going. You're chanting and they're not going anywhere.
Well, where they are going is into more fights because Infamous is going to bring one to them. As they smoke up on 4 heroes, Parker will reveal himself in the bottom lane. They are looking for this full wrap here, and it seems like Hokori completely cut off from any kind of support. Vitaly, though, he's the one that breaks the smoke. Perfect hero to do so. Still has Rolling Thunder. He should be fine. They used to do the Yule Scepter to delay this a little bit, but he's okay. El Misho also just bought Blink Dagger, so he doesn't care if he dies right now. They actually might have the damage to find this kill. Spirit Vessel doing quite a bit of work. And Oscar, he's like, well, we're glad you didn't have that for the last fight, because otherwise life would be very difficult for me. However, Alone, very upset about how the last fight went down. He's trying to find at least some revenge here, and they will be able to bring down Vitaly. He gets cleaved down by Parker, who shows up at the last second. BKB arrives at the same time, so they might be able to convert this into a tier 2 tower as well.
Yeah, they can go for the tier 2, they can wrap in on the mid tower. For now, they just satisfied with leaving Parker on the bot lane. He's got the full BKB now.
Oh,
Yes.
we're being dragged back towards the tier 1 middle though, because a fight is happening here. Oscar will find himself with the chaotic off golem on his head. Will he end up being able to survive this? Affliction comes in just in time to get off
Here's
the Shadow
Parker.
Grave. Parker here as well onto El Misho, cleaving him down. There's a dead Tiny. Analog needs to escape this fight, but Yuma finds a wonderful Wukong's command. The Bounder Strike as well helps to set up for the kill onto Alone. Parker trying to clean up on the backside of the fight though, taking down Gardic, and now we'll pop the BKB. Him and Yuma going mano a mano. Parker realizes he has to run away though. His BKB is about to expire first, so doesn't have the confidence to stick in the fight, as he will end up retreating. They do get 2 supports, but it cost them yet again the life of Alone. This Void Spirit seems to be dying all of these engagements here, Kips. But on the bright side, they at the very least get the positioning over the tower.
They get the tower down. Gonna see if that leads to the Roshan for them now. And that they very nearly lost Analog in that fight for Hokori as well. Luckily though, the Force Staff this time only dooms the Void Spirit to go in harder instead of saving his life. Parker could not actually find him, but they were gunning for him. Another one of these 3-man smokes.
Does get them the life of Affliction. Let's see what this one's able to achieve, because this time around they did leave Yuma in this mid lane, clearing out some creeps, so they might be able to connect from this one into an actual push onto the tier 1 tower. But nope, never mind. They are drawing the line towards bottom. They're thinking about maybe taking another fight.
They do have most of their cooldowns set already. I got some information from that Zeus ult, but it will not be in time to catch anybody here. Oh, no, 2 steps
Alone.
committed.
Okay, they know that the BKB is still on cooldown. They're going to exploit the timing here. The Golem is also on cooldown, so Gardic cannot assist with anything but the Shadow Word, but the Shadow Word might just be enough. Yuma somehow still alive, and here come the reinforcements. They need to get the hell out of here. They're trying to run. They know they're dealing with the Rolling Thunder and with the Tiny that has Blink Dagger. Parker shows himself, finally gets his BKB back, now turning his attention towards Analog. He doesn't have the catch just yet though.
How's Analog
as
so
the Zeus
fast?
still running. There's a Stormhammer. One more cleave should be enough. He gets the kill on the backside of the fight though. Vitaly still alive for now. Gets up a very nice swashbuckle to escape being brought down. Alone gets a Shallow Grave onto him as well. They now collapse onto El Misho, get that kill. Vitaly not allowed to escape either because Oscar has the Yule Scepter. 4 heroes dead and gone, and surprisingly the first person to get engaged upon is the only person to survive the fight.
Yeah, the great decision making from Parker there.
Radiant structure.
Stands his ground in the trees, waits for the backup to come,
Not looking
and
good, kids.
makes sure
Not looking good.
that
This
his
is
team actually gets
not
that
how
kill.
the
'cause
fight was
they-
supposed to
they've
go for
been-
them. And Parker, if he doesn't get that BKB back at the very last second, things look horrible. But he does such a smart thing of hiding in the trees until it's ready. And when it is ready, they don't have a counterplay option right now on the side of Hokori. Yuma's just simply not farmed enough, and that's why you also have to escape the fight. But if it's 4v5 especially, they really can't take that engagement.
And it's even more than that, right? Because Parker is not just hiding there to, wait for the BKB. Like, the BKB is off CD for a while already. He's waiting to see if he can maybe, just maybe, get his hands on Analog, and that is exactly what he manages to do there. And after that, yeah, there's no damage left for Hokori. It is all Analog right now.
Infamous just being really good on the map of exploiting these timings in between BKB charges, in between ultimates, knowing exactly when to make their moves on the map. Now they're about to hit yet another power spike. Parker getting close towards the Silver Edge. Oscar's just finished off a Pipe of Insight. You've been seeing this item a lot more, actually. Talk to me about this. We pretty much fell off the face of the earth as Gardic saw his friend. Warlock has to die, it is what it is. But why has Pipe made such a huge resurgence in these last couple of weeks? I've been seeing everybody start to pick it up, especially on these Timber Sword type heroes.
I think with the increased CD of the BKB, right, we've seen a lot more teams just go 2 magic damage cores, 1 physical damage core, as El Misho gets
Oh, wow.
caught here.
Misho caught Affliction, threw him back, but might have actually caught himself out too. We're hoping to maybe buy space so someone can go into the Roshan pit, but Infamous just cleave down the Roche anyway, still take the fight. Vitaly came in for this one a little bit late. He needs to be careful on how he retreats here. Parker trying to chase him down. Has the Silver Red completed. Find Analog. They've gone on to Analog, and Analog is certainly going to die. Heavenly Jump will not help you here, my friend. 2 heroes dead and gone. One of them tried to prevent the Roche. The other one was just a tourist. But neither of them can stop the train that is Infamous in this mid-game.
Yeah, they're full steam now. And Analog, I mean, he's working on a BKB, right? Which is something that Zeus absolutely never wants to do, but it's a necessity in this game. Unfortunately, I don't think he's ever going to get to it in time.
Well, now we have a grand tradition that they have to try and embrace right now on the side of Hokori. Buy time, split the map, create space. I don't know if they can do it though, because Infamous are aware of this particular gambit and they're going to try and stop it themselves. Finding Yuma in the bottom lane. They do miss the Aether Remnant, but he has BKB and TP available. Not going to commit the TP yet, but will now decide to get out. But every time they do this, they just make sure that they're forcing them back onto their side of the map, and they read Vitaly as well, who was trying to do a similar thing in the top lane. And he unfortunately does not have access to a BKB, so he will just end up dying. Brought down by Parker and Michael in the top lane. Game is getting hard because Michael also just picked up a Wraith Pack, so all that damage that was coming out of the Zeus becomes even more difficult to actually outlay into these heroes.
Michael is so unbelievably farmed, and first with that Force Staff and now with his Wraith Pack, like his importance in this game cannot be understated. And I was worried about this guy because I've been watching these replays. This is the man that makes things happen for them normally. He's the first to move, he's the first to go in, and you know, you don't do that on a Kotal, but he still found his way to have the impact that was needed this game. So, very impressed by him once again.
He's doing really, really well right now. Helping his team, pushing out these waves, making the split push game from Hokori even more difficult. And they're just going to be taking over the Radiant Triangle. Hokori realized that they can't play the preferred areas of the map. They have this Observer Ward on the high ground. But I hate it when you have this ward on the high ground on your triangle and the enemy's just occupying the area anyway. It feels like they're taunting you.
Yeah.
Feels bad. They're gonna smoke up though. They're looking for a fight. Oh, they went onto a lone, but he got off the last second to simulate. Dodges the initiation from El Misho. They still find 2 heroes with the Rolling Thunder, utilizing their vision quite well. Go on the high ground there. The damage onto Michael is enough to kill him. Wuma gets off a Wukong, but nobody's inside it just yet. Vitaly finds himself in the warm embrace of Parker, who brings him down very, very quickly. Yuma forced to vacate the Wukongs, but he can't fight into the Sven. Parker's just too strong right now, and they all will be able to bring down Yuma. El Misho died as well. Analog, unfortunately, doesn't have Refresher, doesn't have Nimbus Cloud. None of that burst damage that he needs to get these heroes very, very low and kill them. As it stands, Infamous yet again walk away from the fight, and they come back for God because Parker has no fear right now. Aegis in tow, God strength, he's just cleaving everything down.
Yeah, he received a Satanic halfway through that fight, and suddenly that means that they can just continue out that push. Yes, they have to respect the possibility of a bunch of Zeus damage plus the Fatal Bonds there. They're still very melee-oriented draft. Can't quite make that one in time, but you know what? There's more things to do here. They've got that Aegis. They can wait, find another fight, control the map some more, and I think they're finally at that point where they're just too tanky for even the Zeus to be a problem, because before they couldn't really win fights outright while the Zeus was alive, but that previous one, yeah, Analog was spamming away, and they still couldn't take Parker down. Even the first time.
Michael died, but whatever. Michael could care less about that situation. And immediately as they come back, we've been seeing this entire time from Infamous. As soon as they realize that all these spells are committed from Hokori, they re-engage, going for yet another fight. And as well as they finish their item timings, they want to find Analog. And guess what? Hello, my friend. There's no Force Staff on you. There's no BKB on you. Nothing to help you defend yourself, as he will get brought down by Parker and alone. That's not supposed to happen. Does have buyback, but when your Zeus is dying that quickly, Yuma also just has to vacate this lane because he literally can do nothing to help you.
Yeah, and this feels like, I don't even want to say the beginning of the end, but we're definitely in a mopping up phase right now. Infamous has to seriously misplay, and we all know that they can. But they'd have to really outdo themselves this time in order to throw this game.
3% win probability in their favor. We've seen that happen before though, so let's see what they can do here. Yuma inside of Wukong's,
Not like that.
Wukong's, as he's gone immediately. Brought down by Parker. There is buyback, but now there's no BKB, nor is there an ultimate. So Infamous will feel complete confidence clearing out the lane of Rax. Analog will be up in another 10 seconds, but by the time he's respawned, they will be long gone on the side of Infamous. But they will be, because they re-engage immediately back onto Goddic, bringing him down quickly. El Misho linked forward, but this might be to his detriment. Dragged back by the Aether Remnant, but Parker's like, alright boys, let's play objective-based order. I am not diving in with you. I want the tier 3 in this mid lane instead. Let us focus on winning this game. And as it stands right now, I'm pretty sure that win probability has ticked up from 97% to 99 because Infamous are in complete control of the game.
They are, and I believe you used the word impotent before, and that is exactly what this looks like. They're just staring at Infamous as Infamous take everything they could ever want and more.
What's the counterplay here, Kips? What do you do if you're on the side of Hokori to try and at least gain a foothold back in the game?
You gotta buy way more time than you're doing right now. This Zeus needs something to survive. You need to have your waves out. I'm just not sure how they're ever going to get to that. Like, he's going to have an Octarine, pretty sure. Like, he knows that they're going to engage into him on the high ground, and all that matters is really how much he can spam out right now. So BKB idea has been cancelled. And they have a 4-staff on El Misho right now to try and save Analog as well. So they have some play options inside their base, but ideally you would be throwing heroes at the sidelines to make sure that they don't get to your base anymore at all. More time.
Oh, look at this. Look at this, Parker. Parker, what a player. He reads that they're going to be going for this. Who got the ward down? Affliction, also what a player. The right support thing. It honestly felt like Infamous are in Hokori's heads. Every time they want to make a move, Infamous immediately says, all right, this is what they would likely be doing right now. For example, Affliction yet again standing outside the base to break the 5-hero smoke. And now they're going to counter-engage. El Misho almost dead immediately, but here comes Parker to make sure he's dead for sure. But he wants the priority target. He wants Analog, and he's going to get Analog. Dead for 70 seconds. Goddic dies on the outskirts of the fight. El Misho controlled and killed as well. And buybacks are required from everybody. Yuma, not that big of a threat on the Monkey King. Dying sooner than his own supports in this game. And now they're going back for Analog. Parker still feeling super strong right now. Yuma forced to use Wukong, but it's right in front of the base, right in front of the fountain. Not really going to be effective in dissuading Infamous from grabbing a second lane of Rax.
That Golem drop was really just not good enough. They went on an illusion from the Void Spirit there. Already the wrong kind of engagement targets. The Dazzle doesn't even die, even though he was the one in front breaking the smoke. And they just didn't have the playmaking capabilities in this game. It's
not at all.
And that feels really bad to say, right? Because we stated that Hokori, at least during their laning stage, looked better than they had for a while. They were on top of that Sven stacks. Analog was getting everything that he needed. Vitaly had a couple of good rotations. But then they stop actually getting to Parker. They stop invading the enemy jungle. They split up more. They are waiting for their items now because none of these heroes really, and none of these players really seem to prioritize other people's games over their own. So Yuma was always over on the side while these awkward 3-man smokes were happening. Like, I can see why Analog stays out of it, right? He's a Zeus. His job is to press R. But the game is slipping out of their hands and they're not playing together. And that was exactly the same way that Hokori has been losing all these games up until now.
Yeah, you literally mentioned it in the game itself that they find themselves in these positions where they're not. You said it like if they fight as a team, as 5, they will win, but they never really got to that point. The few times that they would get cool, interesting skirmishes, they'd never back off and take an objective together, nor like group up and try and make big pushes. I mean, we can just compare and contrast, right? When Infamous hit their item timings, immediately it's 5 heroes together, smoke, go try find something, make something happen on the map. With Hokori, even though you get to the item timing, it's, oh, well, somebody else needs another 30, 40 seconds, maybe another 2 minutes. Oh, no, we've used Wukongs on this side of the map, so we can't get involved in that fight. Probably says a lot that at the end of this game, Monkey King did only 10,000 damage, which is, for context, basically as much damage, hero damage as the Coddle did in this game. So not great, not amazing. Unfortunately, Hokori It's another story we've seen from them. The script is still being followed. Infamous are now 1 game up and 1 game away from forcing these tiebreakers. I wonder though what our panel thinks here, Kip. So Avo, Audio, Wingblade, what did y'all think about this game? How do you feel about getting another right prediction, Audio? And while we're just getting ready to send it back to them, or Hokori, let us hope that they come back in game number 2 in a stronger fashion. Let's hope we get a full 3-game set. Will we get one though, Avo? You tell me.
Well, indeed. Oh no, I would. I'm sorry, I get debated by my own mute. I will indeed tell you, Snare. I will indeed tell you, and the answer is no, man. After that game 1, I mean, RTO, you got the right prediction, sure. In fact, Wingblade, you did as well. Congratulations, Wingblade. You're currently probably their best paddlist by percentage. But RTO, is that the Hokori that we're used to? I guess this season, like in the mid game, the execution and team fights just was not there, especially compared to Infamous.
Yeah, I predicted that they would play better because they have nothing to lose now, but they're just playing worse. I feel like there must be some problem inside the team, and there's no way that Hokori can play this level of Dota. They're
Yeah.
better at that for sure.
They had no pressure, but also no plan.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's been kind of the case, Wingblade. We've been talking about their lack of leadership literally the whole season. Do you feel like it was pretty noticeable this game?
Yeah, I think so. They just kind of lack direction in the mid game. I feel like a lot of teams can get away with having like a decent early game just by individual skill. And these players are very good individually, and they know how to play their lanes, know how to play their heroes. But in the mid game, you start really noticing the lack of leadership. Like the moves are uncoordinated. There's like little delays. Carries are farming side lanes while the rest is smoking, and it just doesn't look great. Also, production told me not to shit talk Warlock. Luckily, I didn't have to because it was shit all by itself.
Okay. Okay, that was a freebie, Wingblade. Thank you for that. RDO, do you have high expectations for game number 2, or do you feel like with the way they're playing, Hokori is kind of done?
No. I still believe in Hokori, guys. Let's
Okay.
go. This is for sure a 2-1 for Hokori. They're just giving a chance to Infamous. Now they're gonna play full try hard and show us some good Dota.
In my experience with RDO as a panelist, the words for sure have never been so meaningless, so I do not think there's much confidence there. But we'll have to see as we wait for game number 2 to begin. We'll take a small break and see what happens in game 2 between Infamous and Hokori. Stay tuned, guys.